Hey guys, welcome to Custodial Cast, where we really clean up the topics. Today we're going to be talking about male and female athlete pay gap. You guys want to start it off?
Opinions. What do you guys think?
Well,
Well,
I don't know. Much of there's nothing really much to say new besides that I like what I like, and that's basically it. Like I
well,
like to watch certain like basketball teams. Like if I watch basketball, it just so happens that male basketball is more interesting to me, and I feel that then it's a reason why they do get paid more than female basketball players.
Yeah,
what if I just say to you, uh, they're the same team name and they're from the same city or whatever, but the only difference is that they're not males, they're females.
Well, I mean,
well,
it
I'll tell you
depends
the
on how
difference
they're
right
playing.
now.
I think people like the difference in like entertainment athleticism wise. I'm not saying like I'm saying sometimes genetically like certain males are just like most of the time have an easier ability to get to a higher potential than certain females. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that it's always the case. I'm just saying that that happens for the most part as you see in most sports. Like male
Yeah.
basketball versus female basketball, there's like how many there's like a history book of like all the times people have dunked in WNBA.
Yeah.
And then in the NBA, people dunk like 24/7, 365. They do like windmills, 360s, alley oops, all that stuff. And I don't know. I'm just saying like people like enjoy different entertainment, and I think for the most part they're more entertained by uh more the male sport, I guess. And that's why
So
the
Yeah, I
are you
can
saying,
yeah.
are
I
you
can tell
saying
you
that's
why right now
uh,
with just one search, and it's because the NBA is worth $7.4 billion.
That's a
That's
lot.
the NBA. That's how much money the NBA makes that so far. I'm assuming this year. This is from the medium.com. And the WNBA only generates about $60 million in revenue. So 60
That's a
million
big difference
from the
for people that can't
WNBA
calculate numbers.
compared
60
to
million?
7.4 billion for the NBA. This is why male athletes are often paid more, especially in the NBA, because they draw in more money, which makes it easier for, the teams to pay these athletes more. With the WNBA making less money, they can't afford to spend as much money on the salaries. And the reason, they don't get as much money isn't because, there's some mythical wage gap, between men and women in general. It's because people pay more to watch male sports. And you could say it's easy to say because I'm a guy, but you can ask anybody at this point. You can ask people on the street, do they rather watch NBA or WNBA? And I guarantee you they'll say NBA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like
But
it's a portion of skill that's the biggest part, which I feel like some people don't understand. Like, yeah, you can have equal rights and equal pay, but it just matters on what they put on the table, what they put into their work and how they do. Because just saying, I don't see many people wearing WNBA jerseys, but I see everyone wearing like Bulls
NBA
jerseys or
jerseys.
like NBA like
It's it's
jerseys
not
and
just the NBA. We have to like focus away
Wait,
from the NBA
Rocco,
as well. It's
Rocco, before
also
you
MLB.
continue,
Yeah,
What?
did you just say the
What?
NBA?
N
N
NBA
N
N
NM
N
same thing.
N
National
Words.
Rock,
Basketball
Anyways.
Association
bro.
N.
guys, come on,
Okay,
stay on
continue,
track here,
continue.
guys.
What were
No,
you?
but
No,
I
Rocco.
was just saying that it's not just the NBA, even though we've been mentioning that so far, it's also like the NFL, which is, kind of more talking about how there should be, that's the one sport I feel like has been hearing the most about females wanting to play the most female football, whatever it's called, WNFL, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that is a thing. Cause I looked it up. Let me double
Wait,
check one more time. I believe the
Yeah,
WNFL is a thing.
Nolan
But
the
like
other
I
day were talking about like the WNFL and then Women's Hockey League. Like the thing is, we didn't know it was a thing until we searched it up.
yeah, I don't even know that there's a
Like, yeah,
women's
Like this
football
might
league.
and
be a
this is
first for
again
some people.
why the male sports end up making more money because they're more known. People watch them more. People spend more money on
hold
it. So therefore, they can spend more money to pay the players.
See, I think the reason why there isn't just these like many sports for females is because naturally, this is just naturally, males are more aggressive, and
Well,
I, well, yeah, no. Here's the
They're
thing,
more
though. Here's the thing,
aggressive.
though.
They have more power behind them. They're stronger. In general,
They're
by
we
more
shouldn't
nature,
take
aggressive,
it
and they could
personal,
take
males is
though.
more
the
hits,
stronger.
and they could take more hits.
Hmm.
And like, don't take it personally. Like, yeah, there are definitely strong women,
Yeah,
and
Of
they're
course,
definitely
of
strong
course.
women. But like, it kind of each player, like even for like if it's a whole male team, not all of them gets paid the same.
you
Like,
get
not every
paid based
single
on how
male
well you
player.
do
Yeah.
and how much value you have to the team.
I mean, unless of course you're a milk
no,
boy, in
you
which
get
case.
paid based off of how much you entertain people. It's more of an audience like perspective. It's not really like because yeah, sure, there's competition involved, and if you do good, more people like you. But that's all an entertainment perspective. Like the more athletic you are, the cooler stuff you do, more people are gonna follow you. So I don't really think it's like yeah, it is a competition perspective, but it's also more of like an audience, like what the audience likes. You're gonna get paid more if you get liked more by the audience versus like if you do really good, but you don't really have like how do I you're not really flashy and like no one really notices you until they like actually look at the stats, which some people don't. I bet like a decent amount of people don't. Most people want to look at flashy people who also do good. But like if you're more flashy and you don't get as much stats as the other person who's like statistically like he's making all his layups, right? But the other dude's doing like crazy dunks and making threes like all the time. The person who's making threes but getting a little bit less points probably going to get paid like millions more just because they're flashy and
Well,
they're
yeah, because you're
entertaining.
putting more work into it, and it's flashy, and like you said, so that
Yeah,
people
they're not
will
necessarily
like
better.
more.
They're just more entertaining, I'd say.
Yeah. And the entertainment factor is the biggest part in the pay factor. People are more entertained by the male sports than the female sports. And you can say again, you can just say, oh, well, you guys are all guys, so it's easier for you to say it's more entertaining for guys. No, that's not how it is. People are clearly more drawn to the male sports than they are to the female sports. Because
Okay,
if you've watched YouTube videos or even live videos of uh NBA games, the stands are usually full. If not, they're almost full. And you can watch a WNBA game where the stands are maybe a quarter of the way full for a big game. They're never really full. They gave away WNBA tickets for free to kids who read their books for 20 hours at the library. I remember that, but they never did that with NBA tickets.
Oh yeah, because NBA tickets are definitely more pressing, so that they're not just willing to give away like expensive tickets. Because the reason why they're more expensive because more people will view it.
well, what about something else? Like, what if besides just like the NBA and NFL, which are mostly just American like broadcasts of the sports? What about the Olympics, though? Is there a difference there in terms of the
Um,
payment?
Is there what?
a
A
difference.
difference
In
in
terms
the
of
in
thing.
the Olympics specifically?
What do you mean?
Like,
Pay
I'm
wise?
trying to say, yeah, like pay wise, because I feel like you have the best players from each country around the world. You would think it's the same, but if we don't know, then I think that's a problem.
I don't know honestly. I don't know the
Yeah, that
wage difference between male and female in the Olympics or
Let
like
me check.
skill
I'll look it
difference.
up real quick.
I don't know if it's a. I
Well,
don't know if it's.
if you're thinking like that, then the gender pay gap in sports it seems unequal. But it's for a reason. Of course, it's not just the fact that they're male that they get more, and that it's like
Oh, they don't even get paid. Olympic athletes don't even get paid.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. I don't.
Oh
This is
wait,
coming from
don't they just get paid
thebustle.com.
by like medals and stuff?
I don't even
Yeah,
know.
they get a medal bonus,
Huh.
and it's not
That's
loading. God.
well, I
Yeah.
saw something.
Whoa, sorry.
I'm
What?
sorry, Joe. You finish. No. You go.
All right. Yeah, I think the difference between like sports, well, I mean they're both entertaining, but like I think the difference between Olympics and like something like the MLB or NBA, well, maybe the MLB, but more of like the NBA or NFL. I'd say like the main difference is that uh, sports like those are trying to entertain people, while the sports like Olympics are actually like I'd say they're a little bit more
Competition.
competitive. In the end, they're both competitive, but I'd say the Olympics are a little bit more about, like, of course they want revenue. Sometimes they want their athletes to be flashy, I guess. But, like, how can you really be flashy in, like, a 100-meter dash, you know? Like, you got to just be fast. You got to, like, it's all about competition, and it's not really about, like, who's got this cool move or whatever, you know? That was kind of hard to explain, but this also I
See,
also have a wait, sorry, what?
no, I was just gonna say like, yeah, the Olympics and the NBA and NFL are two completely like different things. But and you also said something that is true. Like in the end, they're both just like the same thing. But like, what is it like for both teams from a female's perspective? Like, let's say someone wanted to be on the NFL when they're older, but they're obviously female, so they probably can't.
Wait, sorry,
If
what?
that makes sense. I'm trying to say, what's it like being a girl, and like, what do they think about joining the NFL if they could?
I'm not entirely sure what they would think about that necessarily. But I just want to bring up this one point on like soccer that from 2010 to 2018, women's soccer got how much? Let me check again. It says on this website where it says that from 2010 to 2018, the women players were paid 34 million in salary compared to 26.4 million given to men. So it's not all sports that are just like
Well, yeah,
more
yeah.
side to
Like
the
in
male.
tennis, for example, Serena Williams. She's insane, and everyone knows about her because like I mean, I'd say she's pretty flashy and she's really competitive. So like she kind of dominates the women's tennis. So,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
feel like what the most problem people have is that every sport should be equal, which doesn't make sense. Like tennis, for example, they're not saying, oh, males should get the same as females for that. No one's saying that.
Mm.
They're only saying it when females are like dominated over and that they're not getting as much. They're not going to say the same. A lot of people won't say the same thing for males that get paid less than women athletes. Like for soccer, there's soccer is definitely a tough one because both the
Well,
women's
yeah, because
soccer league.
the women's soccer team is much better than the men's soccer team in regards of who's winning medals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, at points like that, it's okay to ask, for more money because obviously the men's soccer team isn't doing anything and they're getting paid more than the women's soccer team who's bringing home medals every year, And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there's a time where it's okay, but obviously like things with the um WNBA, for example, and the just overall, obviously you can't give the same amount of money to a group of people who aren't bringing in the same amount of revenue for the overall corporation. That's just not how it works.
See, I wanted to like go back a little bit to what Joe said about Serena Williams and how like she's a good athlete. Her net pay is kind of it's not too low, but it's not like too high either. It's like around, let's say, $300 million.
Bro.
That's like
Oh,
Three
oh,
hundred
yeah,
million.
that's just a small amount of money, Rocco.
Wait, who is this?
Serena
Who's
Williams.
wait,
from
That's
300
just a
I
small
million
amount of money.
hang on, I have to
Rocco,
see
what do
this
you
again. Hold on.
mean that's a low salary? 300 million.
Well,
slap
well,
you.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, no,
The
no.
slap
only
you if you
one who
call
I
that
could
low
think
again.
has
Wait,
a
wait,
higher
wait, wait, wait,
salary,
wait,
I
wait,
think
wait, wait, wait.
currently, is like
Jeff
Patrick
Bezos.
Mahomes. Well, yeah, but like sports wise, I think
Well,
Patrick
no, that was
Mahomes has
that
like
was that
400
was all
million or
time.
something
That
like
was like that's like in total of what since her career started.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I
that.
thought you meant
Oh,
like
so it's not.
yearly or
Is that
something.
her net worth?
No, it's not her net worth.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
oh.
Wait.
wait, now I'm confused.
What? Well, that's
It's
still a lot of
That's
money,
still a
though.
lot, yeah. That's still a crazy
It's
amount.
her career, but like you compare that to Michael Jordan, who as of as in he made $1.85 billion in 2017 currency. So it's
Well, are you
adjusted for
talking about
inflation.
his sales or NBA? Because,
His career earnings. So like when he actually played.
well, I mean, look what he was selling though. Jordan shoes, everyone's
No,
buying
and
those.
also he was
And
like he's like Serena Williams in the fact that they're both dominating or they were. I know Serena's still dominating, I think. I don't know. I haven't kept up with tennis that much, but Michael Jordan
yeah, she
dominated
is.
his time. Like so they're both in
hmm
the same category, I'd say. Michael Jordan maybe or maybe not more. I can't really say if he's more or less, but like I'd say because basketball is so much more popular in the United States than tennis. I'd say so probably. That's
Well,
probably
you can't
why he
really
got paid more.
like you can't really tell if like Michael Jordan dominated more because
No, yeah. I'm
he dominated more in the 90s. Serena Williams is still going now.
yeah, no,
Like if you're
yeah.
going from
But again, that's
90s to
inflation. That's
2010s,
inflation.
it's a different, yeah, inflation. That's like money's not worth money anymore at that point. Like
Yeah.
money, like $100 is a lot more, for example, than now
Yeah.
in the 90s. So
Yeah, it says here, according to Celebrity Net Worth, Serena Williams is worth $200 million. As of 2020, the 38-year-old has earned $92,720,000 in career prize money from the WTA, along with her 4 Olympic gold medals.
That's pretty good. I'd say compared to others, she should get more maybe. If like she's only gotten 90 million. I know 90 million's a crap ton, but like compared to I don't know. I don't really have much of a say in this because I haven't done too much of my research. But I'd say in general, this is kind of like an in general subtopic, I guess you'd say. But in general, do you guys think athletes get paid too much?
yeah,
Not
to an
not
extent.
all, but some of them, yes. Because I remember reading this article from like this was like a while ago. Like this was like 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but this could still happen today. Some athletes get paid more than doctors. Like think about that.
yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
gets paid more for putting a ball in a hoop versus someone saving a life.
That's a pretty good analogy. Or not
Yeah,
analogy.
that's what disturbs me the most. Like, not even our veterans get paid nearly as much as our,
Yeah, you got
sports
veterans
entertainers.
becoming
That's
homeless
disgusting.
immediately
Yeah.
That's
after.
disgusting. These athletes aren't putting their lives on the line, going overseas and seeing the
Veterans,
worst
not
of
athletes.
humanity, and they're getting paid millions of dollars while countless veterans are homeless because they aren't paid as much as they deserve. So honestly, I don't think
Now,
any athlete deserves as much money as they get.
Yeah.
Like obviously
now,
they bring in that much money to the corporation so the corporation can decide what to do with it. But if
I feel like
entertainers make that much money, then the people who serve our country should be making more. That's all I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying.
I
yeah. Again,
honestly
most of
think.
them don't make
Oh,
that much.
oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry, you
oh.
finish.
No, but I was just saying that I honestly think that athletes depends on like the NBA, NFL depends on like the association they're in. I feel like they should not pay them that much money. If you're making money on the side of with like sales and merchandise, yeah, that's like a separate thing that's sort of affiliated with it, but that's like sort of separately compared to just making money directly from the association you're part of. I feel like they should not make that much money where they can make more than doctors or more than like veterans, like you say. Like if they like I'm saying like if you make money on the side, not from it, just by sales in general, then yeah, that's it's fair play. But like it's really unfair, especially to what you have to put to work, especially like doctors. They put it's more of they go to school for years and years, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
they get so
That's the
much
thing.
pressure.
That's the
Like
thing,
they
though.
get so much pressure for like in the moment, like they have to like someone's life it could be at stake there, and like veterans, their life is at stake there, their country's safety as well. And I feel like if like a ton of veterans every year are like they don't have enough money. A lot of them become homeless right after they're drafted. And it's sort of insane. Like they serve the country and then look what they get. Look what they're at now. A lot of them.
Yeah, that that's kind of what upsets me is because some of these people, spend years and years and years and years in college and beyond, like medical school, blah 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 blah, all this stuff, just to, make a salary that's, worth a lot. But then you just see someone on TV, oh, guess what? Touchdown, here's, quarter of $1 million for making that one play.
Yeah. And it didn't really
And
contribute
then
too much to anything. Like versus like saving a life as a doctor, like you guys said.
Like, yeah, obviously a salary like that makes sense for someone who's literally saving lives. But, these entertainers, again, it's fine that they're making that much money if the people putting their lives on the line every day are making more, in my opinion. Now, obviously, things like the country's budget and stuff like that and statewide budgets, make it so that something like that isn't necessarily reasonable. But considering how much funding our military gets, there's definitely room to start paying our veteran or our soldiers more.
yeah, I agree with that as well. And I do actually feel like, wait, I might be stupid and I just don't know this, but do you guys know if there's like a department of like sports and stuff in the government?
There's the Department of Veterans Affairs.
I just feel
I
like,
don't know.
that should get more funding. Just saying.
Right, but the Department of Veterans Affairs often doesn't do much actually for veterans because it's not used to its full potential.
Ah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I guess it could use some improvement as well. But yeah, but that's not like going, but like this is just going back to the main question.
Yeah, the
What
chicken.
could be improved on male and female wage gaps?
I
Um
mean, there's really nothing to improve from it. It's kind of the way it is. Like it depends like what Joe said about how many views are pulling in, how much attention they're getting. Like we know statistically, male sports are more dominant in not all, but in a lot of them. And females have their sports where they're dominant in,
Hmm.
like volleyball,
Gymnastics.
Olympics, gymnastics,
Lacrosse.
tennis, soccer. Yeah, like it's sort of
What
not.
were the other ones? Synchronized swimming is another big one, and figure skating as well. Are ones where
Yeah,
females are
like
often
females
more
definitely are
dominant
not
than
like
the men are.
super oppressed in their wage. But like in some sports, like the more popular ones like football and hockey and like basketball, the ones like that everyone knows off the top of their head. Like those ones mostly male because it's just more exciting and interesting for people to
And I
watch.
did want to point out, I was doing a little bit of just digging while we were talking on, why they're calling for extra pay. And one of the things I found out is that, you know, in the NBA, about 49 to 51% of the income the NBA gets goes to the uh, the salaries for the players, whereas for the WNBA, only 22.8% of the income for the WNBA went to the players. So I think that's kind of what they're talking about in terms of equal pay. And if that's true, this came from the um, what was it, the Women's Sports Foundation, something like that. So it might be a little bit biased, but if it's true, then that is a more reasonable stance.
Well,
of
yeah,
But
I'd say
to have.
so,
but
but
that's
like,
the problem. That's the one thing I
But
have with
again, they
that.
don't have as much money to be spending.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
like.
the
They
one thing
they
I have
they
is that
still
they
have
might
to
not have
upkeep
enough
these
money to
Yeah,
share.
they
these
don't.
big
Yeah.
buildings, that they have as these stadiums.
Mhm.
So again, they can't spend as much money on the
Yeah, they're trying to
what
be
do
on par
and
with
they're
like.
giving away free tickets constantly.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's a
true.
big
Yeah,
loss in money.
it's like the money they make is just being put back into the performance of it. Like, oh, you gotta this area keep it clean. You gotta rent out the place. You gotta keep them all like they clean everything up.
Well, they're not renting out the place; they own
Yeah,
the
I don't know. I said
stadium.
rent, but the big buildings. That's not cheap.
But yeah, obviously, now that I looked at that, it makes a little bit more sense where some of these people are coming from.
Yeah.
But one of them that didn't make sense to me was the NWHL, which is the National Women's Hockey League, which stated that they were only paid about $2,000 to $10,000 a season, and they were, coming out against that and saying, well, this isn't right. We deserve to be paid more. But as I was reading through the article, it also said that they the corporation they played for, which was this one in particular was the Canadian Women's Hockey League or something like that, was non for profit, so they can't afford to pay you much to play for them. If you're playing for a non for profit league, you can't expect to be getting paid very much because they're non for profit. They don't have money to give to you.
Yeah.
It makes no
I feel
Wait,
sense.
like a lot of people don't
I have a
understand that
question
either.
though, and this is kind of important. So, like you guys said earlier, like how they can usually switch off between men and women for the World Cup and stuff. Am I correct?
Wait.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, wait, what are you talking about?
Don't they like switch off between men and women for soccer like 4 years or something?
I thought.
I have no
I
idea.
thought they have men and women play every 4 years
Yeah, I thought it's the same
in
thing.
the
Like
World
every
Cup.
year
I'd
they
have to
have
look
them
that
Yeah,
play.
up,
no.
but yeah, I think.
I'm
No,
pretty
they
sure.
both play every year. I'm almost certain.
Well, I don't
Okay,
think they have a
then
World Cup
Well,
every
okay,
year.
Rocco,
It's like
say what you
every
wanted to
4.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
what my main point is, do you guys think that they should switch between genders e- every other year?
No,
Well, if they
they're
did that,
stupid.
I get what you're trying to say, like how if they did that, they'd probably be focused on more for like entertainment purposes. But I think that would just get the people mad because they want to see like what they're focused on. If they get that taken away from them, they're gonna like get pissed and maybe like go on a like just not watch the WNBA, for example, if they switched years, because they'll just be like, oh, if we can't watch the NBA, then we're not going to watch any basketball or whatever. So I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
no, no, no. It's what I'm trying to say is like it's under the same name. Like there's no more WNBA. It's all
Oh, I see what
NBA.
you mean. I see what
But
you
like,
mean.
Oh.
and with the
Yeah,
same
no, that's a
teams as
bad
well.
idea. That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea.
For what
I mean,
reasons is it a terrible idea?
Are
yeah.
you
Wait, what
serious? So
reasons?
one year the NBA plays and one year the WNBA plays is what you're saying? Something like that?
No, what I'm
Except they're
saying
all the
it's like
same
it's the
league.
same
That's what
teams.
Rocco's trying to
They're
say.
all the same league, same teams. The only difference is that it's different genders. That's it. Everything else is the same.
Oh, I see. I still think that's a bad idea.
How come though? How come though?
Yeah, you could say it's. Wait, is he talking? I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either.
Wait. Uh.
Wait, I don't. Wait, what are you trying to say, Rocco, about like the same league?
Like basically, like let's say you put on a game. It's like let's say it's the Bears versus the Packers, right? One year, like like this year, it would be all males this year.
Mhm.
You put it on the same game next year. The only difference is that it's females playing instead of males.
But what happens when they're not playing? Do they just not get paid and they have to go to a different job?
I mean, I guess that's a question that like we could figure out
Like,
as if that thing ever happens.
first of all, if you're not a superstar and you don't get paid that much, like if you're a backup and you don't get paid too much, that's gonna be a problem when you're like when you're not on the year that you're playing, you know? And then also for like I'd say different leagues, or like I know it's all part of the same league, right? Wait, no, if it's all part of the same league, then okay. Wait. Now I'm confused. I'm confused by my own language. Nolan, what did you want to say?
Well, I feel like when you're saying the
So
same
yeah.
league,
Oh,
are male and female really on the same league at some points?
I think I understand what he's saying, and he's like saying, the male team will play for, let's say, the Chicago Bulls, and then the female team of the Chicago Bulls will play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think that's gonna work in the long run, because what I was trying to say earlier before I cut off was that the people who are NBA fans die hard are gonna only watch the NBA games, and the people who like, the female basketball games are going to watch the female basketball game. And, the female basketball games obviously are going to get, a few more people watching the games. But overall, the amount of viewers they get extra, or the amount of new viewers they get, is not going to be enough to sustain this idea, because the people who have been watching NBA games want to watch NBA games. They don't want to watch the WNBA games or that style of basketball. They don't want to watch female basketball for whatever reason. They want to
No.
watch. What?
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Because, like, I don't know if you heard Joe say that, what happens for the players that don't play that year? Like, what job are they gonna have when they're not playing?
Right.
But yeah,
And
you guys are right. I guess that idea, it was good on paper, but bad at execution. Think about this: the Super Bowl, it gains like on average like 100 million watchers per like each game. But like I could imagine something like the women's Super Bowl, whatever that's called. I can imagine getting at most 5 million people watching.
well, it's because most people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Because most people don't care. To be completely honest,
Yeah, like
the
it's
best way to
silly.
put it is they don't care, because that's not as an entertaining of a show to watch as is, male football. For whatever reason, it's much more fun to watch male football than it is to watch female football.
And
I didn't even know there was a women's football league until
Yeah.
yesterday when I looked it up.
I didn't know until
I didn't
now.
know there was a official women's hockey league
I
until I
only knew
looked it
there
up.
was
I
basketball.
thought there may have been, but I wasn't certain until I looked it up. But I knew what the NHL was and the NFL was and the MLB was when I was like 5. I didn't have to go look it up to find out, this is real, or uh this is what they're doing. I didn't have to look it up, I just kind of learned it right away from just watching normal TV, because you actually have to go looking for it if you want to watch women's football or women's hockey and stuff like that. And obviously other sports aren't the same, things like gymnastics and tennis and figure skating are obviously going to have more women in it. And those are the areas where women should be paid more, because they're doing better than the men are in certain sports, and they're bringing in more money per capita for that sport. And that's where I think it's okay for them to demand being paid more.
The audience watching. What audience? No, like this is all just our opinion as always. And just what we think.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think this is a good point to wrap it up, guys. So
I agree.
make sure to like,
I
subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and
Just
in the
underscore Joe underscore 04 on the OnlyFans. He'll be posting a lot more there.
Hey, that's
The
only for you
OnlyFans.
guys. That's only for you guys, okay? Shh, that's
Joe,
confidential.
just end it. Just end it. Just cut it.